Good morning. It's Monday, and I'm about to run a class. And one of the lessons I'm going to teach is on how to apologize. In one of my courses, I have a lesson titled "How to Apologize for Reals" because most of us, including myself, we don't know how to apologize. A lot of our apologies are kind of like they're tied to something. There's a lot of add-on. They're not sincere, or they may start off as sincere, but in that process they get twisted. So I want to just come on here and tell you, hopefully give you a few tips on how to apologize for real. So I just listened to a podcast with Brene Brown. Interviewing Harriet Lerner. And she wrote a famous book a long time ago about anger. And I'm going to kind of base it off that because she does a really good job in the what I took from it, the three gifts. And for me, I don't know if gifts is the right word, but there's three pieces to an apology. And so I want to do what I do, which is bring it to street level and to just kind of simplify it in my own way, the Cliff Notes. And I know you guys are way too young to even know what that is. But anyway, what's up? Hey, Hailey, what's going on? Thank you for listening to that episode. Welcome, guys. Hope you're having a meaningful day so far. It's gorgeous here let me show you. It's gorgeous here in Los Angeles. Clear blue skies, no smog, and a nice breeze. Hi from Jordan. What's up? How are you? Thank you for joining us. Okay, so here are the 3 points. Oh, Wendell the Great. I like that you call yourself the Great. There's a lot of certainty there. I like it. She says she knows about Cliff Notes. Yeah, basically how I got through high school. Anyway, apologizing, doing it for real. Okay, the first point is Harriet talked about the gift in that you are giving someone emotional safety. And when it comes to safety, because if you don't feel safe in anything, you're not going to melt into, you're not going to want to share your life, your feelings, your body, anything with another person, right? Safety is like the number one thing. Now, here's the thing about emotional safety. Physical safety is obvious and it's easy. If someone is physically not creating a safe space, it's very obvious, right? And yes, it may be hard to leave or depending on where you're at in your story. But people, even with lower self-esteem or don't like themselves, can protect themselves physically, right? Physical, because we have that mechanism, the fight or flight, to protect ourselves physically. Emotional safety is different. Emotional safety is not as obvious, right? Emotional safety, a lot of times we make excuses for our partner. A lot of times we're not used to emotional safe places because we've never experienced them growing up, right? So we think that's normal. So it's a lot more gray. There's a lot more blur there. So if you apologize and you do it in a way that's honest and you take responsibility, there's no buts. I think the two words "I'm sorry" is actually more powerful than "I love you." And I think that's because we rarely say it. I think because it takes more courage to say it. Most people say "I'm sorry," and then there's an add-on, but this, or "I'm sorry," and then there's some kind of blame, some kind of finger pointing. But when you say "I'm sorry" with a period, right? I think that's rare. I don't think we do that enough. So by doing that, you're creating emotional safety. You're producing what I call relationship glue, right? If you don't apologize, if you don't have the ability to apologize, it's almost impossible because we all do things that we need to own. We all can be reactive and make mistakes and hurt people. It doesn't matter how far how self-actualized you are. It just means that you're a human. You're creating relationship cracks. You're not creating emotional safety. So that's one. By apologizing, you are giving your partner or the person you're choosing to love that feeling, the emotional safety. You're creating a safe space for yourself, for your partner. So that's number one. Number two, and I love this, you are building self-respect, right? If you don't have the ability to say you're sorry, that means that you're not owning things. When you don't own things, there's no evolution of yourself. There's no growth, right? There's no you learning about yourself and your defects and what you want to improve on. Instead, you're deflecting. So you're stunting your own growth. And so when you actually have the ability to apologize, you are building self-worth, you are building self-respect, you are liking yourself better, and I think a lot of people think that when you apologize, you're giving someone else something, like you're giving them a gift. You're actually giving yourself a gift. You're actually building self-esteem, self-worth. Okay, that's the second piece. And the third piece is you're giving something to the relationship. And I really love this because a lot of people don't realize that there's them, there is their partner, and then there is the relationship. And the relationship is a thing that is you guys are both building that's greater than the parts. And I think when you see it that way, now you are contributing to the relationship. You're doing something that's going to help something else that you guys are building, right? So it pulls it out of you and your own ego, and now there's this thing that you're contributing to something greater than you. And I think that's really powerful. So know that, right? Ask yourself, when's the last time that you have given someone a real apology? When's the last time you've actually said that you're sorry? One of my tips in this book is actually do say you're sorry, like actually say the words, because we don't say them, and when we do say them, we add a lot of stuff after them. In the podcast with Brene Brown, one of the things I thought was interesting is with children, a lot of them grow up having difficulty saying they're sorry because their parents, when their parents said they were sorry for something, it was always tied to something. So it was like, I'm sorry, but whatever, you deserve this, or I'm sorry, but this really, whatever. There's this blame, there's this shame, there's this other thing that's attached to the sorry. So it's tied to something, and because of that, if you grew up in that kind of household, it's going to be harder for you to apologize, just because your relationship with the sorry. So just to recap, three things you're doing when you are apologizing. One, you're giving the person you love the gift of emotional safety. Two, you are giving yourself the gift of self-respect, self-love, your evolution, your growth. And then three, you are giving your relationship, you're donating, you're contributing, you're helping build the relationship. So I thought that was really helpful. And just a reminder, think about these three. And when you do apologize, say the words you're sorry and end it with a period.